Hi, welcome back to Masechet Taanit, Daf Yud Bet Amud Aleph. Tana Rabbanan, quoting a Braita. Ad matay ochel v'shoteh. Until when may one eat and drink, assuming, as we've been discussing, that one is about to start a Taanit, which begins as the day begins, or really in the morning. Ad shi'al le'amud hashachar, until dawn. Divrei Rebbe, that's according to Rebbe. Rabbi Eliezer bar Shimon Omer, ad krot hagaver, until the rooster crows. Amar Abaye, lo shanu el shelo gamar seudato, aval gamar seudato eino ochel. Abaye says those time periods only apply if one has not yet finished one's meal, meaning then you can keep eating until even those very late times. But if you finished your meal, then you cannot start eating again that close to daybreak. Eitzvei Rava disagrees. Gamar ve'amad harezo ochel. If one finished and got up, you can still eat. Hatam kishelo silek, but that's in a case where you didn't yet clear the table. So even if you finished the meal and you walked away from it, Rava thinks you can still go back to it unless you cleared the table and sort of were really, you removed yourself from the meal or you removed the meal. That's a sign you're really done, and then you can't go back to eating. Ikata amre, there are those who say, so a different version of the information we just got. Amar Rava said, Lo shanu ela kishelo yashan. This was taught only, so these ideas of when you have to stop eating by were taught only if you didn't sleep. Aval yashan eino ochel. But if you fell asleep, then you can't eat, meaning you can't wake up so close to dawn and then eat. Eitzvei Abaye, and Abaye, in this version, Abaye argues with Rava, Yashan ve'amad harezo ochel. If you went to sleep and got up again, then you can eat. Hatam b'mit namnem, but that's in a case of mit namnem. Heichi dami mit namnem. What is mit namnem? What does that mean? Amar Rav Ashi, nim v'lo nim. You're asleep, but you're not asleep. Tir v'lo tir. You're awake, but you're not awake. Tekaro le'va'ane. If you call out to the person, they'll answer. V'lo yada ahaduri svara. But they can't answer kind of with any real svara. They can't answer with any complicated issues, any complicated logic. But if you remind them of what you were talking about, they'll remember. So mit namnem is this kind of half asleep, half awake state. And that's what, according to Rav Ashi, that's what Abaye, or that's what was being referred to in this idea of sleeping and then getting up. Amar Rav Kahana, Amar Rav. Rav Kahana said in the name of Rav, Yachid shekibel alav ta'anit, asur b'ni lahasandal. An individual who takes upon themselves a fast is not allowed to wear leather shoes. Chayshinan shema ta'anit tzibor kibel alav, because we're concerned lest the person took upon themselves a ta'anit tzibor. Like we're concerned about confusion between ta'anit yachid and ta'anit tzibor, and of course in a ta'anit tzibor you can't wear leather shoes. Heichi li'aved, so what should a person actually do? How should one behave? Amar Rabba bar Rav Shela, Lema hachi. So let the person say the following: Lamachar ehel lefanecha b'tanit yachid. Tomorrow I will be before you in an individual fast. Meaning, wouldn't that just solve the confusion? I'll just say it's an individual fast, and then I can wear shoes because I'm not going to get confused. Amrulei Rabbanan leRav Sheshet. The rabbi said to Rav Sheshet, Haka chazinan Rabbanan de Mesaimi Mesanaihu. We saw rabbis who buckled up their shoes, v'atila beit ha'anita, and came to the fasting house. Ikpad v'amar lahu. And people noticed and said to them, Dilma mechal nami echol. Maybe you're also going to eat. Like basically saying, what are you doing wearing shoes? Don't you know it's a fast day? Oh, maybe you're also eating, right? Clearly you're not really keeping the fast. Abaye v'Rava me'alye ki mesaime afanta. Abaye and Rava, and I have this word for you on here, Abaye and Rava were going up, and they put their shoes upside down, meaning they went out with their shoes upside down. So it was a way of wearing shoes, but signifying that it was still a fast day. Maremar Marzutra mechalfe diyamina w'smalo jesmalo liyamina. And Maremar and Marzutra on these individual fast days would switch shoes, put them on the wrong feet, right on left and left on right, again as a kind of sign that they're wearing shoes, but don't worry, it's still a fast day. Rabbanan debei Rav Ashi, nafke kirachayhu. Savri ki had amar Shmuel, ein Taanit tzibor b'Bavel ela tisha b'av bilvad. So the rabbis in the house of Rav Ashi would go out as was their way, meaning they just wore regular shoes on those days, because they held like Shmuel, who said that there is no Ta'anit Tzibor in Bavel except for Tisha B'Av. So you're not likely to get confused, because if it's any day other than Tisha B'Av, it is not a Ta'anit Tzibor. Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav. Rav Yehuda said in the name of Rav, Lo leveh adam ta'anito u'poreya. A person can lend and borrow from a fast day, essentially. Can kind of make it up later. Ki amrite kami de Shmuel, Amar li. When I said this in front of Shmuel, he said to me, V'chi neder kibel alea de lo sagi, de lo mishalem l'tzurei nafshe. Shmuel, so basically Rav is telling the story, and he says, when I said this in front of Shmuel, he said to me, V'chi neder kibel alea de lo sagi de lo mishalem. Is this a neder, right? Is a fast a neder that was taken, that I took upon me, which, is sort of not acceptable if I don't complete it. But what I took upon myself is, or what one has taken upon oneself in a fast day, is to afflict oneself. So l'tzurei nafshe kibel imati mitzar nafshe, ilo mati lo mitzar nafshe. So it's like, what are you so surprised about? Of course, like, if you can do it, you can do it. And if you can't do it, you can't do it. And, that's just the way it is with fast. It's not like a neder. Ikeda amre, there are those who say, a different version, Amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav, Leveh adam ta'anito u'poreya. A person, again, can borrow and lend from a fast day. Ki amrite kami de Shmuel Amar li, and when I said this in front of Shmuel, in this version, he said something slightly different. Pshita, lo yehe ela neder. This is obvious, pshita. What could be more obvious? Lo yehe ela neder. This can only be a neder, or it can't be more stringent than what one would say for a neder. Neder milo matzi by lishlume umezal amachar uliyoma achrina. And for a neder, if you can't, isn't it the case that you have to fulfill it eventually, right? Isn't it the case that you eventually have to fulfill it? So too with the Taanit, you have to do it eventually if you couldn't do it, right then. Rabbi Yeshua bered Rav Idi, ikla lebei Rav Asi. Rabbi Yeshua, the son of Rav Idi, went to the house of Rav Asi, Abdullah igla tilta, and they made him this very fancy meal. Amrule, and they said to him, Litomar mide, eat something, let the master eat something. Amarle b'ta'anit yativna, and he said, I'm actually fasting right now. Amrule v'lo zifmar v'lifra. They said, so like you should just borrow some and lend some, like break your fast now, basically to eat this food, and then you can just fill it in later. Lo savar mar lahada amar Rav Yehuda amar Rav leveh adam ta'anito u'poreya. Don't you hold by this idea that was said by Rav that you can borrow and lend from a fast? Amar lahu, so he said to them, Taanit chalomhu. This is actually a Taanit chalom, meaning saying it's not. This is different. This is not a typical individual fast. But Amar Rabba bar Machasya, Amar Rav Chama bar Guria, Amar Rav Yafet Taanit chalom ke'esh l'neoret. Fire is good for a dream like fire. Sorry. A fast is good for a dream like fire for ne'oret. It's like the woolly part of the flax, basically. So it's like it burns it up, right? The fast will get rid of a bad dream, the way fire will get rid of like fabric. Amar Rav Chisda ubo bayom. And Rav Chisda said, but it has to be that day. So like if you have a dream that night, you have to fast the next morning. The Amar Rav Yosef, va'afilo b'Shabbat. And Rav Yosef says, even on Shabbat, which in general we don't do fast on Shabbat, but if you have a bad dream Friday night, that's what you have to do. Mai takante, what's the takana? Meaning, how do you make up for it if you fasted on Shabbat, which you're not supposed to do? Leitiv ta'anita la ta'anita. So then you have to fast a different day to atone for the fact that you fasted on Shabbat. Okay, going on to the Mishnah. Avru elu v'lo na'anu. If these days passed, right, we previously described the Chidim fasting. So if all that passed and their prayers were not answered, Beit Din gozrin shalosh taniyot achirot al hatzibor. So then the Beit Din decrees 3 more fast days upon the congregation. Ochlin v'shotin mi ba'od yom. They can eat and drink while it's still day, meaning until the following day. V'asurin b'melacha u'berachita u'besicha v'nilat hasandal u'tashmish hamita. And they're not allowed to do work or drink or anoint themselves. Wash themselves or anoint themselves, or wear leather shoes or have sex. V'noalin etamer chatzaot, and we lock the bathhouses. Avru elav v'lo na'anu. If those days pass and their prayers still aren't answered, meaning there's still no rain, Beit Din goes rinalehan od sheva. Then they decree another 7 fast days, shehen yud gimel taniyot al hatzibor, which makes for a total of 13 taniyot on the tzibor. Harei el yuterot al harishonot, and these are even more stringent, or they sort of contain more than the first ones. Shebe'elu matri'in v'noalina tachanuyot, because on these we cry out. We have a higher level of crying out, and also they lock the stores. B'sheni matzin im chashecha, but on Monday they open them for a little bit before dark, so that so you'll be able to eat something. Uv'chamishi mutarin, right? So you'll have food for breaking the fast. Uv'chamishi mutarin mipnei kavod Shabbat, and on Thursday you're allowed to open the stores because of kavod Shabbat. You have to prepare for Shabbat. Avru elu v'lo na'anu, mima'atin b'masa u'matan. If those days pass and there's still no rain, then they limit business dealings, bibinyan, and they limit building, ubinetiyah, and they limit planting, be'erusin u'benisuin, and engagements and weddings, ubishilat shalom ben adam l'chaviro, and they even limit greetings between people, kibnei adam hinizufin l'makom, like people who are sort of have been chastised by God, who are sinners. Hayichidim chozrinu mitanin ad sheyatzeh Nisan, and the yichidim then fast again, go back to fasting until Nisan ends. Yatzah Nisan v'yirdu g'shamim siman kala. But once Nisan ends, we don't fast anymore because we don't want it to rain. It's a siman kala shne'emar halo k'tir chitzim hayom gomer. A pasuk from Sefer Shmuel, which I brought for you on the sheet below, which implies that it would be a punishment if God made it rain after that point. We've actually seen this pasuk quoted before, and I have a question for you later on about that. Now the Gemara has a question. It makes sense that all of these things have some kind of ta'anuk, some kind of enjoyment in them. All those things that are forbidden, washing yourself and anointing yourself and sex, those are all enjoyable things. But melacha is actually kind of troubling, upsetting, painful. It's not such a fun thing. And so the implication is, why not be allowed to do that on one of these fast days? Amar Rav Chisda, Amar Rav Yirmiyah bar Abba, Amar Kra. So there's a pasuk that says, Kitshut tzom kiru atzara isfu zakenim ka'atzeret. So this pasuk here, so it really just goes isfu zakenim. That's all a pasuk. I put the pasuk down here. So calling a gathering the elders, etc. Ka'atzeret. So the pasuk implies that this is like an atzeret. Ma'atzeret asur b'siyat melacha, af ta'anit asur b'asiyat melacha. So just as an atzeret is forbidden to do work, so too it must be for a ta'anit. Atzeret is the word we use for things like Shmini atzeret, and usually in Chumash we assume that it implies a holiday. So that's where we get that you cannot do melacha. Ima atzeret me'orta. Aftani nami morata. So just as an atzeret starts in the evening, so too the fast must start in the evening, right? If you want to extend things from atzeret, so we know that chagim, holidays generally start at night. Amar Rabbi Zera, Didi mefarsheli mine to Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba. This was explained to me, right? The real meaning here is explained to me by Rabbi Yirmiyah bar Abba. Amar Kra, the pasuk says, Isfu zakinim, gather zakinim. So it's just like the gathering of elders. Just as you do that during the day, so too the fast is during the day. So proving, going back to proving what we know, which is that the fast takes place during the day. Ve'ema mitira. And maybe you could say that it's from the afternoon. But that's when it starts. Amar Rav Shesha Beredzi Rav Idi. Messiah Leila Rav Huna. This is supported by that which Rav Huna says. De'amar. Mitzafra kinufa. In the morning, they gather. So there's this idea that in the morning of a fast day, that's when the major gathering happens, which implies if they do something in the morning, that implies that the fast starts from the morning. Hechi abdi. How do they behave? What do we do? Amar Abaye. Mitzafra ad palgaz yoma me'ayininan b'mile demata. In the morning, from the morning until the middle of the day, they examine the affairs of the city. Rashi says they're looking to see if there's any corruption or something like that they're being punished for. Mikan ve'elach riva diyoma karina b'sifra v'avtarta. And then for the next quarter of the day, they read Torah and Haftorah. Mikan ve'elach be'inan rachme. And for the rest of the time, they daven. Shene'emar, as it says in Nehemiah, ve'yekumu al-amdam ve'yikaru b'sefer Torah Hashem Elohim. So Revi'it Hayom. So this is, I have this pasuk on here also, or maybe not. We should add this pasuk. So this is, again, just describing the way that a fast day should work. So this idea that what you do at the end of the day is about prayer. I'll put this in also. Ipuchana. Maybe I would flip it, right? Maybe I could suggest that the schedule actually works the other way, right? And then we could go back to saying that there's, maybe things don't start till the afternoon. Maybe the schedule actually works differently. Maybe the first half of the day they pray, and then in the second part they deal with the Inyan Eitz Tzibor. Lo sakatavcha. Don't think this. Tichtiv ve'la yasfu kol chared b'divrei Elokei Yisrael. So this pasuk from Ezra. So all the people who were scared of the words of God gathered to me because of the faithlessness of the galut. And then the continuation is Vani Yoshev Mishamem Ad Leminchat Ha'arev. Right, and I sat there until the evening. So that implies that he started in the morning. Uktiv Uvminchat Ha'arev Kamti Mitaniti V'Afresha Kapayel Hashem. Right, and then it says, like, in the evening I got up from my fast and stretched out my hands to God. So that tells you that the schedule is in fact oriented that way, starting in the morning and ending in the evening. Okay, we'll stop there.